Hi, welcome back to Culture Talks Thursday with Theresa and Cynthia. Um, Last week, Theresa, we were talking about the stressful time that we're headed into. 2020 being stressful, being full of uncertainty, rising numbers across the globe around the pandemic and COVID-19, new lockdowns going into place around the world again, holidays coming up. And we talked as well about the U.S. election and the stress, which I think is magnified here in the U.S., but is also being watched around the world. And we didn't have a crystal ball to know that we'd be where we are today. But there's certainly a lot of uncertainty that we're all dealing with. And at work, people are still showing up for work, and they're showing up, in some cases bringing that anxiety and that stress. I heard recently somebody say our state of being is contagious. How we show up is affects other people and makes them feel certain ways. And I thought it related so well to the archetypal patterns we've been talking about, because there are 12 different ways of being, 12 different ways of showing up. And on our last call, Theresa and I mentioned our certified partner community and some workshops and programs that we offer through our partner community that are specifically designed to help teams, to help leaders during, get to know each other better, get to understand our natural states of being, learn how to read each other kind of motivationally. And during 2020, one of the things we've really been focused on is how do you flip? How do you show up in a particular state and in a particular archetypal pattern? And if there are demands in the office that are changing and there's uncertainty surrounding us, how do we navigate, and how do we help our teams navigate to whatever the stress is, whatever the uncertainty is, to show up in a more positive way, to get themselves through something, to recognize what they need. And so we thought today we would just give you a brief glimpse of one of those programs, and I'm going to share and we designed it specifically around this whole pandemic operating mode, and knowing that teams are coming in and out of the office, that they have different things that they have to respond to. They have to be adaptive. And knowing that, again, stress impacts team members differently. So how do you navigate these times? So the Flip the Switch program is all about, it's an online program that's designed to provide a lot of value quickly to your team in terms of getting to know each other and what each other needs during this time. Theresa, maybe you could take us through it a little bit.
Sure, absolutely. So when we think about Flip the Switch, we also recognize that usually during these last couple of months of the year, we also have an opportunity to connect with each other and to find ways to recognize and celebrate. And so this Flip the Switch program provides an opportunity to show up and appreciate what's happening, the good, the bad, and the challenging things that are happening in all of our lives right now. And once we can identify them, then we can also have a chance to shift them. And as we say, to flip the switch and to create the kinds of outcomes that we all need in working together. So if we go and think about one pattern, right, let's just take a look at this. What does it look like in action? So one of the archetypes is called Sage, and we haven't talked about this, but the Sage archetype is one that on the strength side of that pattern really emphasizes intelligence and research. And, this is the expert at the table, the person that everybody kind of looks to for reassurance that we got it right, we did our homework, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, if you will. And so when they're operating from their best side, a sage is very detail-oriented, well-informed, they've got their facts straight, and they are willing to share that knowledge with everybody else and kind of help everybody out, help the team. But when things get tense some days are difficult and demands are changing fast, which is really part of what we're all experiencing right now, then that same person might freeze and be like a deer in the headlights because new information doesn't have time to sink in. They don't have time to analyze the details and align everything before they have to make a quick decision. And so the propensity to overanalyze things and being slow to react and make change can be a real detriment, and it can cause a lot of stress for someone who shows up with this Sage archetype. So in thinking about this flip the switch, one of this program gives an opportunity for each person on the team to create a flex plan. How do I move from what I'm really good at and then the triggers, that I have coming out of my own pattern into being able to articulate, hey, this is what I can do well. This is where I can add value. These are the challenges, the things that are showing up that trigger my shadow traits right now. And raise their hand and literally say to the rest of the team, here's how I need your support. Here's how I can add value. Here's what I need from you. And so an opportunity to frame it out and to really give people a language that they can use to articulate what's challenging right now. And once they have an opportunity to freely articulate that, they can also freely ask for help and provide help. So it's a full circle look at who's the whole person, how do they show up, and what do they need right now? And instead of just, trying to shoulder or muscle our way through it, we can be a little more intelligent about the way we manage people, the kind of support that they need, and how we can really be more pinpointed about managing and supporting our teams through some really difficult challenges. We've been talking about these patterns and how you can use them. And here's a practical application and just one, small example of how you might be able to flip the switch and help your team to pivot and stay healthy and stay present during these next couple months. So thanks for joining us again. And we'll look forward to sharing some more practical guidance. As well, we have a whole team of certified partners who are ready to deliver programs like Flip the Switch for you and your team.
Could be a good holiday interaction, right? A little deeper, get to know each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.